All right, Watte, ready to sell a kidney for this figure?
God, no, I don't even want to buy it. Oh my God. I don't even
I
want
know,
to.
you totally do, man. Alright, let's go ahead and move on to the Xenosaga figures. And man, let's see how many figures there are. There is 90 released figures and garage kits, all just related to Xenosaga. How do you feel about that, Watte, knowing how you are a fan of it all?
What's scary is I actually have a lot of this. But I also have stuff that's not listed on here, which is very interesting. So like maybe this list needs an update. But like I don't know how frequently people are these like user submitted? Do they submit them on their own? Because that might be
Yeah,
why.
it's all user submitted.
So then that might be why some of the stuff is missing. But yeah, no, like I own a lot of this. Some of them I've been tracking down randomly through the years, and I've seen, but like the problem with like especially the garage kits we talked about earlier is that having unbroken pieces is an issue. So sometimes I'll find one I really want to buy, but I can't because like even if it's rare, if the piece is like non-salvageable, you know, like I can't make a resin piece out of it again. Like, there's no fixing that, you know. So that tends to be the problem, is finding undamaged ones.
Right. But I do want to talk about a few of the garage kits here, even though I don't want to discuss them too much in detail. But there is a My-Magus garage kit right here, and it looks fantastic. Like, My-Magus garage kit?
Never
like,
seen it.
jeez. Like, who would have thought to make a My-Magus garage kit?
I mean, it's fantastic. But the thing is they say it's at One Fest, but like I've never seen it, and they say it's only like $40 at the time. It was like 2013 summer, but like I've never seen it ever for sale. So I don't know if it just was like a display and that's what they were gonna. Because the thing with One Fest is it's like basically a festival where you display figures. Sometimes some of the artists that sculpted them will have copies on hand to sell. Other times it's just to announce that, hey, I'm gonna make this figure, and they gauge interest and people pre-order or sign up. So like this could have been on pre-order and like asked for people for signups to make a specific quantity, or it could have just been announced and then for whatever reason they decided not to go into production. It could be the person didn't want to invest. You know, it's hard with those.
Yeah, right. And like, My-Magus is such an insignificant character in Xenosaga, but she still had a garage kit that still hasn't released yet. It's like, yeah, where is the Ziggy figure? Where is the Chaos figure? Instead, we get a My-Magus, like, out there? Like, man, didn't even think about that.
There's such a lack of, like, guy figures for the Xeno series.
Well, no,
you know?
More so with Xenosaga. Like, there is absolutely no guy figures at all. It's sad. But with Xenoblade, yeah, I can agree there too, so.
Yeah, it's just hard. I mean, like, Junior is a really good character.
Yeah,
Ziggy's, like,
Junior?
the best dad.
Albedo?
Yeah.
Where's my Albedo garage kit? Like, why My-Magus? Like,
yeah,
just
really
out
hard.
there?
Yeah. Maria's spiritual older sister.
Oh, yeah.
In spirit.
Nah, that's real. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I don't know if you've seen this before, but this is another garage kit. Oh, you did?
I didn't get it. No.
Did?
I mean, I can still. I know someone who has it, but it's just like, I don't know. I just never did. I probably should pick it up. I will probably pick it up, but it's just, it's a little, it's a little questionable.
Yeah, it is pretty questionable. I can agree. I don't know what the point of that is. Wait. Okay, I do want to talk about this, actually.
That's different. Yes, that is a different one.
Okay, so I've done a little bit of research on this, and apparently, so this is made by Left Hand. This is just a bust of KOS-MOS V4. It's a really nice bust too, just like looking at it just from this picture alone. There's a lot of detail that goes into the bust itself. It's kind of small, but it has a lot of detail in the face and bust structure. and it really speaks to me a lot. And on the left right here, there is some concepts that was done with the bust as well. Like, Left Hand wanted to put a lot into this. However,
Well,
it unfortunately got canceled because they couldn't get the license from it. I believe, like, I don't know if it was Choco-san that couldn't get the license
yes.
for it.
Yeah, that's Choco's work. What's interesting about it, and I don't know how this piece actually was produced, because the base of this statue, the only time we've ever seen this picture as a whole is in KOS-MOS Fix that got released this last year. In there, in one of the pages, it has the full bust, and if you look underneath, because in Xenosaga there was a set of art books that was released, there wasn't the statue part. But under KOS-MOS Fix, there's actually the full thing with the statue base on it, where you can see the whole thing is actually a bust on a statue base. That wasn't revealed because in the Chocolate Shop books, which is what that render is actually from, it only showed the bust part. It didn't show that it was on a base like that. So, like, I don't know how they would have figured out it was on a base without seeing his work, but that work wasn't, I believe, published until KOS-MOS Fix. Like, I don't think I've ever seen an image with the base portion on it, which is interesting.
Yeah, that is pretty interesting. Weird how the base portion was not even on the My Figure Collection website, because it would be cool to have it there. Probably is because of copyright reasons. But yeah, Choco is pretty particular about his work. I definitely agree on that. And perhaps the main reason why that bust hasn't been released. What is Left Hand anyways? I mean, they haven't done a lot of figures, and I don't think Choco-san would want to deal with that.
Yeah. Some of them aren't like companies per se. Like, some of them are just like individual artists. So, like, it wouldn't surprise me if it wasn't like an actual company.
Yeah, it's quite a shame because it has a lot of detail to it. So I understand it nonetheless. And then we have the Shion figure, which is actually a one-of-a-kind. You told me that Mr. Xeno Collector actually has this. Do you know where he got it from exactly?
I don't recall the full story. You'd have to ask him for sure, but I'm pretty sure he got it from a staff member. I'm gonna look up. He has a website actually, and he has a picture of it in there. Yeah, I found it. So yeah, it's actually in there as well. But yeah, it is there on the spot right, second shelf from the top on the far right. You can see it. It's in a glass encasing with LED. But it's right next to the T-elos figure. But yeah, that's the only person I know who has that. Like, I've never seen it any other place. But it's definitely not something that was officially released.
Oh, I see it. Wow. He even got a case for it. That's pretty cool. That's a cool case for it, yeah.
Well, the only thing I worry about that case, and I've talked to him about it too, and he's like, I know in hindsight, I'm sorry. He's like, I don't leave it on all the time. But I said I was worried about the paint fading because of the LED light, but that doesn't stay on all the time apparently. So, like, that's okay. But, like, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Definitely want to pay extra attention to it if you want to get into figure collecting. If you are into any rare figures, just don't put them in any kind of light at all so paint doesn't fade away from it.
But yeah, like, they have like a whole website. That's also how I compared my collection and how we could tell if I surpassed or not, was because like they had done such a good job at logging all of their stuff.
Yeah, I will definitely get to ask him how he actually got this figure and the history behind it. As far as I know, no other company besides Namco would even make this figure, so like, it is a fully painted scale figure.
I think it was originally a garage kit, I think, because I have the packaging. I picture the packaging, the original that it was shipped. I'll look for it, but it might have been original scale, a garage kit. But I don't know. I say garage kit, but like, you have to understand there's like well, you don't have to understand, but let me explain. Sorry, my poor phrasing. Garage kits don't necessarily mean that they're like off-brand or unofficial. What it means is, like, if I were a sculptor, like, and I sculpted something and like assembled it. Like that's technically a garage kit, but it's not a garage kit in the sense of like they sold it anywhere. It could have been like a one-off that somebody made on their own and sculpted.
Yep.
And that was it. You know what I mean? So like garage kit's sort of
Yeah,
like
I
a
know
loose,
what you
a loose
mean.
term on that, but I think it was somebody actually built it and made it because I have a picture of the packaging, but he didn't have that packaging, so that's why I'm wondering where he got it, because he might have got it secondhand off of somebody who already had built it.
All right, this is the Dina one, right? ES Dina.
Gosh, that thing by Mega House. That thing's I love it. It's so beautiful.
Oh,
but
yeah,
it's like so
Mega House.
fragile.
Oh, really?
To like pose it. Oh my god, it is so hard to pose.
Oh,
so
goodness.
hard.
Oh,
because
goodness.
like literally if you look at it, there's so many joints everywhere on that thing that like just handling it, things move around because literally the whole entire thing is like completely posable. So it's super cool. Like you can reshape it. It can change modes and shapes and stuff. Like it's totally like you could take down the put the legs up and like change into the position where they have the X cannon. Yeah, so since it's completely posable, everything is all jointed and moves. So that's why it's hard to position because you touch it and it'll just move.
Wow.
But it's like extremely, it's so freaking
It would be
cool.
nice to have this on the
Yeah.
shelf too, so.
Yeah, but it's just like, it's hard to pose. So.
Alright, we already talked about the Volks KOS-MOS figure in the KOS-MOS tier list, so let's talk about the Volks T-elos figure, which is about as equally as detailed as the KOS-MOS figure. Like, look at this! It is so well detailed. I love the stand. I love the pose right here. Her hair as well is also fantastic. The pistol is pretty nice looking as well. Volks makes some really great stuff, but it's just super expensive, you know. And her helmet is down too.
No, we're here.
Do you have anything to say here, Watte?
Sorry. I mean, I'm just looking at it and I'm just like, I guess I'm sort of like just in awe and in shock about them. And I think mainly because it's just like the base on the bottom, the Zohar base, but it's just like there's no, those two I feel are like it's like the Grail figure. Like I have literally no words because like they can't do anything better. In my opinion.
Dude.
Like
I'm just like,
but
wow.
But it's like it's so hard because of the scale. Like that's how you can do it. Because at that scale you can be that detailed. You know what I mean? But the fact that it's like beyond my expectation of detail is what's the crazy part.
Right, I know.
Like, I don't know. I just sort of look at them and I end up being lost at a loss for words. 'Cause I just sort of am like,
it's like, I've seen these so much. Like, what do I even say here?
yeah, like there's not much. Like it literally speaks for itself. So when I look at both of them, it's like, how can you, you know, how do you go on about something that's already like, that's like the ideal image of like what any of the figures should have been, but the scale is just so large that it's just like,
yeah, both of them are huge, by the way. Like about about 1.5 feet tall, and they also go for $1,000 just in general. And like with the T-elos one, you'll find that at cheaper prices. Like you will find it at maybe $500 at minimum. But like KOS-MOS is way more expensive, especially with how big the weapons she has. It will definitely up the price a bit more.
I'm gonna save and I'm gonna eventually, and then maybe we'll be able to unbox one.
Yo, that would be great. Just have a live stream
just
talking about it with you.
Yeah, it's just because of the expense. Like I said, it's just easier to. They will be there longer because it's so expensive. And like, as I mentioned in our last video, the tier list, it's easier to buy up the cheaper ones and collect those quicker because those go faster just because they aren't as expensive and people don't take care of them as much. So preservation wise, it's more of an urgency to buy the cheaper stuff than it is the expensive stuff. But yeah, I can't wait.
All right, Watte, ready to sell a kidney for this figure?
God, no, I don't even want to buy it. Oh my God. I don't even
I
want
know,
to.
you totally do, man. This is a freaking Dolphy Dream doll.
It scares me.
And it scares me, too. It's like a freaking doll you can just display. And it's got those big eyes and has those really realistic looking hair with it. Like, Yeah, I would definitely buy all of them, really, and lose a few organs with that. But who cares?
There's that one and there's Momo, and you can often find the Gatling guns sold separate because like the way that Dolphy works, especially now. There's this one collector I know on YouTube. We talk back and forth about it because she owns both of
Oh
those.
my gosh, yes.
She's definitely well off because her whole room is nothing but Dolphys, and those generally run around like 1,000 to 1,500 each. Like she like spends, she got money. But the point is like when she's ordering the Sailor Moon ones, for example, because they had Sailor Moon Dolphys, you have to get entered into a drawing to even be able to purchase one. And then if you wanted accessories, you get entered into a drawing to win the accessories. Yeah, exactly, right there. And so you can often find the accessory less expensive because it was in a lottery you had to win. But to actually buy those, that's why they're so expensive. I think they're both around 1,500 now if you try to find them. If you find used ones, you can find less, but the problem with these is like they generally have like issues with them or like missing hats like that or something like that. But I haven't ever seen them like they're definitely for the higher end.
I'll
But they
be
use, like,
honest
actual,
though,
like,
I love
wig
the
hair
Momo
stuff.
doll.
I do
It
too.
looks better than the KOS-MOS one. Even though it
Yeah,
has
I
more
agree.
of an action focus, the Momo doll looks like an actual doll that you can display. And just do that. Especially
Thinking
this.
about it too, it matches Momo so much because as like a Kirschwasser and like a Realian, like the doll aspect is really really strong, and I think that's why it works so well. Just the concept of like who she is as a character plus the crossover of like this in real life. I think that's why it works so well. I mean, KOS-MOS is also like an android. Like
Yeah,
I get it,
Android
but I think
too.
that the style and the concept is just like stronger for Momo for some reason. I think it just might be the episode design. I think maybe because episode 3 Momo is just designed really well.
Yeah,
so.
just as an action-focused doll, I don't see Dolphy Dream dolls having a big action-focused feel to them. I feel like they are just there to put in its display case and then show them off. There's no particular portions to them,
Yeah.
but going back to the action focus, this gun is actually really well detailed just to put on.
Mm-hmm.
It is pretty big too. It's mainly for KOS-MOS, but you can also put them on all their Dolphy Dream dolls and show it off. It's funny. You can use two of them at once if you ever want to, but do you ever just want to spend the money for these accessories? Oh yeah!
For both of those, I think they're $250 each, so it'd be $500 for a set of double guns.
Oh
they're
yeah!
expensive.
Oh, the KOS-MOS figure has the Fatima glass actually.
Yeah. But yeah, they're really, really detailed. Really detailed.
But yeah, detailed figures. If you're a doll collector, definitely keep a lookout for those. Now we have another garage kit. A Kirschwasser garage kit to be exact. Nothing really
I
special.
don't know if that even exists. Because I've never seen it. Ever. Like, at all. That one, oh my gosh, I'm going to click into that one. That one's so frustrating.
Okay.
Oh, no, that's
do
not
you
it.
have
That's
a
a different
story
one.
for this one?
This one's unproduced. But there's another one. There's another one that is produced.
This one right here.
This one, yes. Oh my god. I found that one on my birthday last year. And that's the one that the skirt, see that skirt right there? Half of the skirt was missing. That's why I couldn't buy it. But that was the first time I had seen it in years, and I've been after it forever. That was from a One Fest as well that was produced. I actually messaged somebody in Japan, and I tracked down the studio that initially made it, and they still had their website up last year. And I messaged the website, and then they said obviously they don't make it anymore, but they did send me pictures, like actual high quality, like high def pictures that I have of like the original, like when they were standing there, of like when they made it back then. I won't say high def, but they're like high quality because HD wasn't like the thing back then. But like I literally have so many of the original that was painted, and they gave me like pictures of the original that was done. So like that's really cool. But I managed to find who made it, and then I managed to get pictures from them of their interpretation of their original figure.
Cool.
But yeah, I was just like, I wanted it so bad because it was framework, and like, yeah.
Yeah, it's too bad about the skirt thing, because that would have been good to show off. just like I said before, garage kits are Garage kits are really good figures once you put in the work for them, but I just don't want to buy a whole ton of these because they're just going to just be sitting there, just waiting to be put together and stuff. But if
That
you
one
ever
ended up
have the
selling
time,
for like $250, even with the broken skirt. Like they go for insane prices. So,
but
yeah,
that's cool.
I have seen it though.
Cool
Yeah,
stuff.
that's definitely one of my favorites.
Okay, so this one has been shown in the KOS-MOS tier list video. It's the Atelier Psy one that you told me it was from HappyNet. I think this one comes separately from the HappyNet one because it has the Fatima glass over here.
Yeah, they're not the same because this is completely by a different company, but it's like sort of that kind of style.
Ah, I see. This is kind of different.
Yeah.
I don't know what company did this though. It was at One Fest 2007.
Yeah, it was like a garage kit. If it's at One Fest, it's a garage kit.
Alright, well, it was pre-painted, so it must be different.
Yeah, they come pre-painted too. Yeah, some garage kits, some people actually like pre-paint them and then like, you know, just sell it as a kit that you can assemble. But it's not too often that happens, but it's possible. There have been a couple that are like that.
Okay.
Figma Telos.
Yeah, Figma Telos. This is different than the KOS-MOS one, I would say. It's got like, I think it is a little taller actually. That is an expression right there.
Yeah, I mean they're so, I don't know, they work well. Like I don't know what it is about the Figmas, like for the Xeno series. Well, at least specifically, I've sort of seen M.O.M.O. M.O.M.O looks good too, but I for some reason they look good. So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't see much of the joints here, so I think they're pretty decent to have.
Yeah.
That's a really cool pose, just spreading her arms out.
They're not too pricey either.
Yeah,
they're
they
still
aren't.
Pretty good. So.
Yeah, if you are a Telos fan, definitely consider getting this one.
And also seeing a psychiatrist as well, but you know.
A psychiatrist. Great.
Telos is a little extreme, you know.
Yeah, she is.
Xenoblade, she's stepping on people, you know, all that kind of. But I mean, I just, you know, it's funny. No,
yeah,
but I feel like
it's
Telos, I understand. Telos makes a very good, you know, villain. So, I got that this year.
Oh yeah, I have to talk about this actually. The
Yeah,
Bunny
I got
Garage
that.
Kit. You
Yes.
still don't have this made though.
No, it's sealed up because I need to get somebody to make a copy of it. But I managed to get one whole intact, like undamaged, like full on, like minty mint. The person that had it that I got it from, it was a pretty penny. It was like a couple of hundred. But yeah, it has all the little pieces. But you have to. It's definitely scary because if you look at the way that the hair is structured, that is so scary because those pieces can break so easy. Because they're not, you know, they're resin, so they'll just snap. So like that's why it's hard to find like a lot of these resin kits that way. So obviously I repacked it. I put tissue paper in between, you know, like I packed it properly. But it's still very precarious if you don't pack it well. Because you have to pack it tight too. Because if it's loose and it moves around, that's when they break. If you pack it tight against something, at least it won't move and it's less likely to break. But yeah, that one took me like at least 10 years to find because like every single one I came across, they always were broken. But that's why garage kits are so much harder because the material, and then as they age, the resin ages too. So, but yeah, I managed to get that. I was really excited about that. I found that one last year.
Well, that's really cool. So
Yeah.
So we talked about Dina, which is an action doll you can get, but there is also the model kits for Dina and Zebulon which I don't think were released at all, right?
Yes, they are. I own the. I don't know about the Zebulon. I don't think it was, but I did get ES Dino last year.
Ah, that's a
I
garage
finally
kit. Nice.
tracked that one down. Yeah, yep. And ambivalent. Yeah, I managed to get that. So yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Is like a lot of them are like garage kits that I've obtained, but like I don't have them out because it would require like to assemble them. So that's why it's hard to showcase any of the garage kit stuff. And also usually why I don't talk about them is because they're just so much harder. But yeah, it's very weird. It's very much more organic looking than like robotic looking. It's very strange, but it's very cool. It's very alien-esque. But yeah, I did get that one last year, and I have the one next to it on the right too.
So
That
this
one I
one,
don't know about.
yeah, this one hasn't been released, if I'm
'Cause
being
it's
quite
Konami.
honest.
Yeah,
Oh, Konami. Yep.
it's so weird.
Oh, you said you have this
This
one?
yes, but the hoge at the top is broken. So I bought modeling clay. I'm gonna bake it, and then I'm gonna reattach it, and then I'm gonna repaint it. Apparently, I had a painter help me in another Discord, in a Gundam Discord, and they actually matched that pink to it's called Valero Airsoft Pink. They found me the exact shade with the sealer, with the like clean gloss sealer, so I can actually reconstruct it so that it's full because it's already pre-painted by someone already. I acquired it from a friend, Blashu, who we probably people may or may not know in the other Discords, who had it, but I had to salvage that one too. So like I had to reconstruct, like just like the other one that I had of KOS-MOS that were broken. This one I had to salvage too. So I'm working on restoring it now. But all I have left is just to refix the little hoge on the top, and then I can put her out for display.
Yeah, well, that's cool. So there hasn't been a lot of Shion figures, actually. I think this one looks like the better looking out of all of them, but it is just a garage kit. Do you know if you have this one, or is this real or anything?
It is real, but I don't know the story behind it because there's a site that's like a, I don't want to say knockoff, I guess reproduction site, E264 or something, who sold copies of these, but they were very bad copies. So like, Leona's Workshop talks about this too on her channel about garage kits back then. So what happened was people used to send them in, and they used to be able to get copies to like certain companies, and then in trade off, they would make a copy of your original. They would send you the original back, and then they would give you extra copies, like as a thank you for like letting them produce extra. But what was happening was it became controversial because they would turn the original into them, and then they would get a copy back. They wouldn't get their original back, so people stopped doing it because they were worried that people were stealing the originals.
That's awful, dude.
Yeah, so because of that, and that's also why I haven't done like the bunny garage kit that we had, the KOS-MOS bunny one. That's also why I haven't done anything with it, because I have to find somebody I can trust, let alone reproduce it, right? Because even if you find somebody who can replicate it, it's like, are they going to give me the original back? And that's why I usually don't do or display anything unless I have two of them, because if I lose one, it's not lost to the world. If I lose the second one, then that means literally there's no one else who has, you know, if it doesn't survive, that's it. So this is the case of this figure here. The people who made it, they reproduced a whole bunch of them. I don't know if anybody has an original left. That's the problem, and that's sort of a bummer, because that I know was made in low quantity. It's like the HappyNet one we talked about. There were only 300 made of HappyNet, so that's why it's hard to find. I probably should have put that in context for you before, but like there was only 300 of those made, so that's why I told you I thought it was weird that they're inexpensive but they're hard to find, because they're only worth 300 made, but they're still like $40. So it's weird stuff like that like in the Xeno series specifically. Same with this one here that you're highlighting. That one is the same. E264 also reproduced that one as well. So there are reproductions of it, but I believe Xeno Collector has it. But that one is also one I don't own. I only own, like, I'm missing like 6 total, like 6 or 7 figures literally to have everything on this list. But this is one of them because same thing happened with them. They turned in the original to someone, and someone didn't return the original back. Oh,
interesting.
So
that's interesting to know about.
Yeah, so it's just that's one of the ones I don't have as well.
Do you have this one?
This one, I know where to get it. I have someone, I know where to get it. I haven't gotten it yet. That is next on my list. That's why I worry about talking about like the garage kits, because like, when you find them,
hard
it's like,
to find and just expensive to do a lot with.
You gotta grab it. Yeah, it makes it hard. But yeah, I know where to get that one. I will have it hopefully soon. That is my next target.
All right, this is another T-elos one that is from Motion Revive, and we talked about the KOS-MOS one before. Do you have this one at all?
Yeah, it's not open though. That's the one that I mentioned that if you buy it, you get the KOS-MOS bonus parts in it. See on the bottom left on the box, it shows KOS-MOS in that bottom left honeycomb.
Oh, yeah.
That's actually, it's too small, but that's like, it's basically saying it comes with KOS-MOS's alternate parts. If you look at the KOS-MOS box, it has T-elos on the bottom corner. So you buy them as a set to get the others, you know, vice versa, their parts. So usually you buy them as a set. T-elos is harder to find for some reason. I mean, they're both hard to find, but
interesting because Telos is much easier to find than most KOS-MOS figures are out there, so...
Yeah, it varies, but usually there is a set.
Oh yeah, this is the SR Namco series Yujin ones. The one that has a lot of issues with it or something?
It just has issues standing. I have pictures of that one too.
Oh yeah, the ones that lean and stuff.
Yeah, because it's just because the hair is so heavy that it tends to fall over. See, like most of these we've seen in the list. Yeah, that we've gone through.
Now, I think these are probably the best Xion figures, and there hasn't been a lot of them, but the trading figures for Xion look pretty decent. Like this one right here is the secret one with the glasses, right? And the coat.
Yeah, the alternate color, yeah.
Yeah, the alternate color.
They have like the weird goggles instead of the glasses, the goggles.
I think this is a nice secret figure for Xion, especially with the red coat. I think her hair might be a little different as well. It looks a little redder compared to the brunette color she has.
I like them a lot. I like the figures they chose for the trading figures. I like the versions they chose. Whether or not the poses are, but like the quality of them is good. Even with our tier list, if you look at it, not a lot of our tier list didn't really involve quality too much, which is pretty cool. Like sometimes you're like, oh my gosh, this is horrible quality, but I don't think they've ever made a figure for Saga specifically that was just really bad because of quality, minus that one garage kit up there. But I mean like official figures,
And then we have, okay, this is HGIF. Yeah, we talked about HGIF before, and this is Swimsuit Xion, and yeah.
She has the poorest stability to go with the weakest of knees. Because like she falls over without the stand. It's pretty bad. But
look at her face. It's really, I don't know if you have a picture for it actually. It looks kind of off-putting.
I wonder if let me look.
I think this is the white swimsuit. Ew, ugly. Sorry, Xion, but the face in the HGIF figures looks so goofy, I talked about HGIF in the KOS-MOS tier list, and I talked about how depressed KOS-MOS looks in the HGIF figure, and yeah, it's like, gosh, Xion just looks so sad here.
Yeah, it's really hard though, because like a lot of those figures are like, it's so weird because like they have like all those capsule toys and stuff, but it's like some of them are just, I don't know why they made them, like some of them are pretty rough.
And now we have the T-elos Alter figure. This is awesome, just about as good as the KOS-MOS one. She has that blade and that badass face, the pose and stuff. Even the stand is the same one as KOS-MOS. It's really cool. Really nice to even display. Yeah, I like the T-elos one. It's actually kind of inexpensive too compared to the KOS-MOS one. I have seen one comparatively. There is one going for $95 or so on some websites, but they can go higher as well. I just haven't looked in a while.
It just depends, because like right now, I mean, here's the thing. If you're going to put it out on display, like I never say avoid open box. Like if you want to, because like if you're not like me, you're not preserving it. You don't need to pay like, $100, $200 extra just because it's like sealed, right? So like if you have an open box, they're perfectly fine too. A lot of places like M.O.M.O and places like that have like used figures and they grade them, and, and if you're having it on display anyway, like the likelihood you're gonna drop it, bump it, whatever, so just go for the less expensive one. You get to have it in your room. It's a really cool figure. It doesn't hurt because you got it open box, but yeah, it's a good priced one. But I'm so shocked that they sold them for the prices they sold them back then.
I know,
like 5,800 yen.
Yeah, that's like crazy cheap. Holy wow.
Yeah. Like even if you converted it back then, that even if it was like around $60, $50, because it's usually a little less. It's like the quality of that is so good. Like I don't know, like that's what drives me crazy is like some of the prices on stuff now, obviously because it's been a while, but like back then that's nuts,
Right. Yeah, that definitely. I don't know if I want to get this one specifically, but if I do find one at a cheaper price used or something, I'll definitely scoop it up. Yeah.
there aren't that many T-elos figures, so.
So now let's end off the Xenosaga section with our favorite M.O.M.O figures. Ah, man, I think everyone knows how meme-ified these figures are. It's not just because of the face. Well, it's basically the face, but like, the rest of the figure itself has a lot more detail to it as well. Like, for instance, this one has the bike, right? And it's very good looking. Like, this is a freaking fantastic bike that Namco made. But the figure itself is so different comparatively.
It's just so cool, the bike is. But like, yeah, just the figure itself is just like, the only cool thing I will say about the figure is like the translucent part, is like so cool. But because of the materials they use, it yellows. So, the ones I have right now, and when I get the videos up, you'll eventually be able to see it's like yellowish tints to it. They didn't use a material that stays clear, like so it's like it makes Smokers even more memey because it's basically like wide-eyed and yellow colored and all like scraggly looking. It's pretty rough.
Yeah, the yellow Mokos. Oh yeah.
Yeah, just toss her out and keep the bike.
Just toss her out. Just let her sit in the rain and in the sunlight. Like I said in the KOS-MOS tier list video, the M.O.M.O figures started out as a series of monster figures that have these faces that just don't look right. It's called Evil Goddess M.O.M.O. Like, it's supposed to be these evil goddess sort of things. Like this picture right here.
Yeah.
Like, what is supposed to be there, you know? So actually, in Japan, they're called Jashin figures, which means evil goddess in Japanese. The You Know Your Meme website goes into a little bit of history on the figures as well. There is like GIS arts on 2chan and stuff like that. Yeah, the Evil Goddess as a title has gone to a lot of other places, like here with Evil Goddess Saber.
That one's fantastic.
Yeah, that one is great.
That's like trauma.
Yeah, very traumatic for sure.
Yeah.
This one is like, what kind of face is this, you know?
Yeah.
I think it has the Evil Goddess status because of how weird looking the eyes are. That can be said with the other ones as well. But basically, the Evil Goddess craze has started from that figure alone, which is definitely something to behold for sure, so... But yeah, that is all the Xenosaga figures to go through. You definitely have a lot of those figures you have in store for us. So real quick, you said there's a lot of figures that are not on the My Figure Collection website.
I wouldn't say...
Do you have any of them?
Like, not on hand. I can take pictures. But, that's the thing is, like, it's not a lot. Maybe, like, 4 or 5. But still, like, that's... I guess that would be considered a handful. But, yeah. Like, I just, like... I don't know if it's because they haven't logged them since then or people... it's sort of hard because, like, the ones that are logged now... I would have to wonder when people put them in, because they probably put them in when Xenosaga was more around then, you know what I mean? I don't know if people still search for them as much as I do still, because like as things get older and time ages, people tend to not like
care as much.
You know what I mean? Like yeah, and it's not because the series has gotten any worse or anything. It's just because new things come out and people get excited about new things. You know, so I think that maybe they just haven't like updated, but yeah, I definitely plan on taking pictures of stuff that I have. I don't ever mind showing things that I have because it's like I already have it. You know what I mean? I'm more just particular when I'm trying to hunt for something.
You know what would be helpful? Probably post pictures of it and make a post on the My Figure Collection website and show off what figures they are and their boxes and stuff. That would be pretty helpful to have because you have these ones right here that don't have actual pictures for them, so it'd be nice to have actual pictures just to see what they look like. Because right here is just the box, and
yeah,
like right
I agree.
Here.
I think I'll get to that after. I think I'll get to that after like the YouTube channel update, because I still have to like post the gallery. I think having the gallery with the 360 view and all that stuff, I want to do all of that and get all my stuff updated. Once all that's updated, yeah, I can come in and probably update those. But like I'm more like it's so hard to log all that. Like filming all that and taking pictures yesterday took me like 10 hours. Like the problem is there's so much that it's like it takes so long to document. And like it seems like it'd be easy because it's only like a picture or two, but if you think about like their physical items, it's like I literally have to take them out, literally have to put them on a table, literally have to like, you know, like unpack everything. So like it takes so much amount of time. So that's why I just haven't done it over the years. And like I think when you asked me to do this stuff was like the first time I was like, okay, let me, you know, put some time down and do it. And I think that's probably the first time that I've actually like taken the time to do it. But it's definitely something I want to do. It just eats up so much amount of time. So maybe
Yeah,
one day
I
soon.
hope so. I hope you can continue doing this sort of thing. So yeah, this is all the Xenosaga figures. Alright everyone, I think this is a good place to stop the Xenosaga figure discussion. Please tune in for the following parts where Watte and I will be talking about Xenoblade figures, and one last video that I will have just right before Christmas. In fact, go ahead and follow and subscribe to Watte on his other platforms and on YouTube, where he has a gallery video going through all of his Xeno series collection. So please check that video out if you can, along with his other endeavors. So anyways, thanks guys for watching. Remember to subscribe and hit that like button on my videos, as well as share my videos around and hit that notification bell to be updated on further Xeno series videos coming in the future. And until next time guys,
see you on the other side!